Hey guys, thought I'd show you a quick project I'm doing to organize the plywood and sheet goods in my shop. As you can see, there's a stack of plywood there that's kind of precariously stacked against the wall, and there's junk on top of it, and there's sheet stuff there. Mainly I'm looking at organizing not that table but plywood stuff. There's a full sheet of PVC plastic, I think it is, and other just plywood stuff. I have a bunch of half-inch plywood that I need to store too. So this is what I'm doing to organize it. I'll flip the camera around and show you what I've got going. Okay, so here's the base frame. It could be built simpler than this, but these are two frames that I happen to have, and I threw them together and they work. So basically what you're looking for is a 4x4 foot frame. It's a 2x4, tall, so 3.5 inches tall, and then a 1/2 inch deck goes on top of it, just plywood. And I found it helpful to run at least just a half, a support 2x4 halfway there. You'll find out what these 2x6 pieces here are for in a moment. And basically there'll be this bottom assembly that has the same hole pattern there, and then that's the top assembly that what we're looking at is the inside. So it will end up here above the bottom piece, and then you'll have I'll show you the rest once it gets assembled more, but I wanted to show you this bottom piece before I get too far. Out there you can see I'm making the new deck piece for that bottom section. So I've drilled those bottom set of holes and I'm working on the top right now. I just plunked that on top of the top piece I had and copied the holes over. They are roughly every 4 inches. I'll throw a tape measure on here so you can see. There's that 4 and 8 and 12, 16, and then these are roughly 5.5 inches across, these section here, and that's just because of that that bottom frame that I had that I was, it was already existing. I just went with what I had, so I had to provide, I think, more spacing, probably right here, to make it so that the conduit pipes I'm going to put through here don't land on those 2x4s that I had running here. So anyway, that's just what I had. You could do similar or space them out a little more evenly, but it's roughly 4 inch on centers until the middle 3 or so. And they are, looks like 4 and 8 inches from the end of the, each end of the 4x4 piece of plywood, and just staggered like that, and you'll see why in a moment. One thing you can do when you're drilling these holes out is to start drilling from one side and drill halfway or most of the way through, so you get that pilot hole showing through there, and then you can flip the board around and come from this back side and finish drilling from this side. That keeps you from splintering out this back side when the spade bit goes through. Before I raise it into place, I wanted to show you what the top frame looks like. It's just a 2x6 frame that is 4x4 feet, and with a 1/2 inch deck on the bottom with the matching hole set, and then it gets another 1/2 inch deck on top to close it in and to give a little bit of storage space on top of it. So I am hoisting it into place, and it will rest on top of those two vertical 2x4 legs. For now it'll rest on top of those cleats, and then I will screw in from the side from the side of those legs into the 2x6 member there, and then remove those cleats so that sheets of plywood and stuff go into that space. So anyway, I'm raising that into place. I'll end up cantilevering this end of it. It'll kind of hang out, and I'll connect it to that structure over there for the space I'm working in now. Well, the rack is now done, and I've begun putting the plywood I have in it. So you can see what those holes are for now. These are just 1/2-inch EMT conduit pieces. It's about 1 inch to 1.25 inch clearance. Might be actually 1 1/8 inch. And that's just enough to be able to comfortably slide the piece, the plywood pieces in without a big struggle. So now you can see how those conduit pieces and the staggered holes help to organize everything. So here I saved a section here for I have about a 14-inch tall stack of 1/2-inch plywood that I have yet to put in here. So that will go in this section, and then I just have you just find the right hole and you put a conduit piece in the front and in the back for that thickness, and then you just proceed on and stack. I've found I'll stack my full sheets here, and I can divide it by type or by category of material or whatever, and then here's all the odd cut pieces, cut lengths. And so this is how it works to move it. You just push the pipe up into that section, and with the length they are right now, about 8'7", they just barely are short enough to get out. I will need to trim them slightly to make it a little easier. I didn't screw down the top 1/2-inch deck that went on the very top there. I didn't screw that down yet because I need to slightly lift it with these pipes when I adjust them. So I'll trim them off, and then I can screw that down. So this brace here is temporary. I'm eventually going to have basically I have a table saw back there, and I want to be able to move wide material things back and forth whenever this rack is not totally full. So I will end up cantilevering, just kind of supporting this end of the upper deck part, or the upper rack part, from my shelving unit back there. But right now that gets me going so I can use the thing. So I hope you found this a helpful, handy way to store your plywood and sheet goods. I know it helps me keep my shop a lot less messy. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment below. And if you would like dimensions to this project, like full-on plans or dimensions, cut list, all that stuff, just leave a comment, and if enough people ask for it, I will get it to you. You can check out more things like this at tomwiley.org. Thanks, I'll see you next time.